Now, students, we're going to transition to our second medium that we're going to use for our art piece. A medium is the thing that you make your artwork. It could be a pencil, it could be paint. In this case, it's a combination of two mediums, both watercolor and oil pastels. For this, we're going to begin creating some shadows and details and highlights into our KT boundary using black and gray. But we're going to start out with the black. Now, as you're doing this, you do not want to press down really hard and make a really wide, thick line. You're just going to want to just gently, sort of lightly sketch along that pencil, that edge that we did the very first step. You're going to also want to go along your little contour lines, lightly around our crinoids. Just kind of highlighting some of your pencil marks. Again, the thickness of the end of our oil pastel can be a little problemsome, but it's the main thing is just kind of going along and using a different edge or getting a scratched piece of paper and making it a little bit sharper. Now, once you do that, you're going to get your paper towel, and then you're going to lightly blend those in. I'm rubbing in the same direction and even a little beyond where I have used them. Now, once you complete that step, you're going to end up looking primarily like this. If you feel like some of your lines are a little dark and heavy, or maybe a little bit wormy looking, you can also kind of lighten some of those and highlight those using your gray, and then again lightly blending that in. Sometimes stretching out those lines with a little gray, again, kind of softens the edges of those lines. So do that for a few minutes, and then we'll come back and start adding our final details to our ammonites. Now, students, we're going to start adding some shading and details to our ammonites. To begin, we're going to use our brown color, our dark brown. And again, just like we did with our contour lines and our shading on our KT boundary, we're going to just very lightly come around and go over the lines that we did to create this little spiral shape. Again, you're lightly sketching. You won't be happy if you use a hard, heavy line. We're going to fill it in like that. Now, the next thing we're going to do is, before we start doing any type of blending, we're going to add some more contour lines into the shape of our ammonite. To do that, let's start on the inside of this one, and we're going to just come along here. Again, notice that the shape of my line is slightly curved. I'm not adding a lot of pressure to my oil pastel. And I'm also varying the lengths of my lines. They're not all stopping in the same spot. Now, after you go on the inside, you're going to come around and repeat that same technique on the outside edge. Again, we're creating a shadow on the edge of that shell to show shape. Now, once you finish, you're going to look like this one. I like to blend my oil pastels generally with my finger because the heat from our fingers kind of adds to that friction and helps it move. So very lightly, I'm going to just lightly kind of follow the path that I made with my oil pastel. I'm not mashing down super hard. I don't want to lose all those lines. And then I'm just going to gently go over the lines that I made, the curved lines showing the curved shape. Now, you're going to work that over. You may want to come back once you're done and add just a little bit of that little shading with your oil pastel again. But when you're complete, it's going to look like this. After you finish doing that, you can take your tan color and again, just going lightly curved. You're not doing anything too much. Again, you're kind of adding a bright area over those dark browns. In art, we need kind of to think about 3 shades of color, a dark, a medium, and a light. And again, you can go around there, take your fingers, spread out some color that comes off on the outer edges. You can add more accents using your browns around and even coupled with this gray to create some shading and some other different texture in the rock formation that these ammonites are embedded in. And then that's pretty much it, you guys. I hope you've enjoyed using these 2 different mediums and using art as a way to not only explore our imaginations, but also science.